Dear Mary, I would love to say new year, new me, but we both know me. I still have yarn in my house that I was supposed to send you in 2021, not to mention the unfinished secret project that's been on my craft cart for 3 years. Either way, we made it to the new year and I'm back. So I wanted to say hi, see what you've been up to, and of course, talk your knit. Hey, hi, hello, hi. Welcome to the Talk Your Knit podcast. I'm DeeDee, one half of this podcast correspondence with my best friend Mary, and this is the first episode of Talk Your Knit for 2023. So, welcome to episode 4. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you're excited to talk your knit with me. Today, we are going to be discussing my 2023 knitting plans, Ravelry challenge, and my goals for the year. This is going to be a super quick, super short update because most of my goals, my Ravelry challenge, and my plans are the same as last year. But before we get into that, let's put first things first. Generally, I start with finished objects, and I don't have anything new. I don't know if I talked to you guys about these, but this is my first fully finished pair of socks. This is the Espresso Shot Shortie sock by Cheryl Ham. I knit this in Sorella Yarn Co. Double Scoop is the contrast color for the cuff, heel, and toe, and the main color is Ice Cream Shop. This was a birthday collection from Sorella Yarn Co. 2 years ago. It might have been 2020, it might have been 2021. But Sorella Yarn Co. is actually a indie hand-dyed yarn company that is local to me. They are in the same city where I am. So these are the only finished object that I have. Like I said, I can't remember if I talked to you about these before or not, but it's my first fully finished pair of socks, and I'm very proud of them. The only other even nearly finished object that I have is this is my Ursa Sweater in Melanated Boho Bay. Moon Healing Escalation, Moon Prism Power, and Pretty Guardian. Pretty Guardian is the solid orange. Moon Prism Power is the solid purple. And then Moon Healing Escalation is this pink and yellow. I don't even think I have a strand long enough for you to see the whole thing. But this pink and yellow gradient yarn. I mixed these three together to get a big, puffy Ursa sweater. The problem is I was trying to be really fancy with my stripes. I wanted to match them up across different parts of the sweater, and I've given myself a very difficult challenge in blocking to make these stripes line up. I should have just followed the pattern, but there was I get like darts kind of, and I was trying to keep the stripes going correctly across the dart, like it was short rows. That's what it was. And I was trying to keep the stripes going in a certain way across the short rows, which has led me to having these weird jogs in the fabric that I'm hoping I'll be able to block out or even stitch, like sew through to make them line up where they're supposed to, but who knows? We'll see. The sweater is finished, but I have all of these ends that need to be weaved in, and like I said, I want to try to block out some of the places where it's not quite lined up the way it should be. And I'm hoping I can, but worst case, I'll just have to live with it being slightly off because I can't, I don't have any more of this yarn, and it was a limited collection, so it is all gone. But there's a really good look at the back. The back didn't have any of that short row shaping, so it doesn't have the same problems the front does. So you can see that arrow detail, that triangle detail that the Ursa sweater is known for really well in the back. So that's the only even nearly finished object that I have. And I guess I was just so overwhelmed by how weird that situation is that I made for myself with the stripes that I'm just not very excited to even attempt that right now. So I'm not. And with those two things spoken for, I can tell you about my current projects. But one second, let me get some coffee. Also, do you love this mug? It's got Stitch from Lilo and Stitch on it. And it says Ohana means family. My fiance's cousin got it for me for my birthday and I'm obsessed. I really love coffee mugs. And she knows that and she got me a beautiful mug. Okay, let's talk WIPs. I guess I'll go in escalate. I'll start with my most recent cast on, and then we'll go back from there and talk about some things that I have hibernated for a while. So my most recent cast on is this little devil darling. I know she doesn't look like much, but this is a sleeve for the Lily of the Valley blouse by Yanhua Lee. I got this from Ravelry, and it's a pattern that's designed for like mohair, Surrey alpaca, those fluffy, fuzzy yarns. And 2 years ago, 2020, 2021, it was like really big. I don't know if it was necessarily big before that. I wasn't into the online knitting community as much then. If you recall, I got into like the social media knitting community in 2020 because Mary introduced me to indie hand-dyed yarn, and I've been on the slippery slope ever since. But in 2020, 2021, everybody was knitting with mohair, everybody was knitting with Surrey alpaca, all the patterns were being defined for it. And I wanted to see what the hype was about. I was definitely influenced by influencers, and so I ordered this yarn from Bumblebee Acres Farm. This is their Marianne Dashwood colorway on their spun sugar base, which is Surrey alpaca and silk. 74% baby Surrey alpaca, 26% silk. It comes in 50-gram hanks that are 328 yards. I ordered 3 of these, and I also ordered 2 of their shimmer sock, which is a superwash 63% merino, 20% silk, 15% nylon, 2% sparkle blitz. It's got this like silver stellina, like a very thin silver stellina thread in it. And this was 4 ounces, 420 yards. So this is from her Jane Austen. This is from the Bumblebee Acres Farm Jane Austen collection. It was another one of those limited edition, get it while it's hot collections that I was obsessed with when I first got into indie hand-dyed yarn. And I wanted to make the spring puff sweater. And so when I went on Ravelry to purchase the spring puff sweater, I saw that it wasn't on Ravelry anymore. I was very upset because it was in my Ravelry challenge. So I was super upset. So I just went in search of another pattern in my Ravelry queue that used Surrey alpaca or mohair, something fluffy like that. And I found this in my Ravelry queue. And this is, I don't know how I feel about this. The pattern is simple. Like I did a knit one. It was knit one, pro one, rib for 4 inches. Now I'm doing just stockinette stitch for the sleeve, but I'm not certain about this Surrey alpaca. It's definitely a different fiber to what I'm used to. I'm used to knitting with fingering weight yarn. I'm used to wool or even acrylic fiber, but this is a whole other type of beast. I'm excited I started with the sleeve, even though I don't think I have enough yarn to complete this project. The pattern calls for the size that I'm making, it calls for like exactly 150 grams, which is exactly what I have of the Surrey alpaca. I have exactly 150 grams, and that's to make a 3/4 sleeve version. And I prefer a bracelet length sleeve, so there's that. And also this sleeve just doesn't feel as full as I thought it would. The picture on the pattern looks like the sleeve is fuller, and I kind of want to she has you just increase on every stitch when you come out of the cuff, and then you just knit that width the whole way. And part of me wants to knit like 4 inches with that number of stitches and then just double it again, and then knit that for a few inches and then decrease back to the number that she told me. But I don't think I'll have enough yarn to do that. And I started with the sleeves because I wanted to work with just this fiber and figure out, the best way to work with it, my tension. I'm an entirely self-taught knitter, so I do things like drop stitches a lot. I just will lose stitches, and I need to know, like, if I drop a stitch, am I going to be able to recover? What's the how much wear and tear can this fiber hold? Is this a travel project? Is this something I can put in my bag and take on the bus with me, or in my purse when I go and when I move around? Can I take this project? How much do I need to baby it? Is this something I can have and be working on when I'm with the boys? That type of thing. And so that's why I started with the sleeves, to kind of put the Surrey alpaca to its paces. But now I'm wondering if that might have been a mistake, because I won't know if I'll have enough to actually make the body of the sweater. So that is a little frustrating. But if I make this pattern and I like it, maybe I'll order some more Surrey alpaca to do a second one. And I feel like I've said quite a bit that, like, oh, I'm gonna make another. I'm already thinking of plans to make another XYZ, and I haven't made any others of anything. But maybe this year will be my year of revisiting patterns that I love, because I have all of these grand plans. And I guess the Ursa sweater, I've made one of those and now I'm back again. So technically I have revisited a pattern that I love, but we'll see. So this is my most recent cast on. The cast on before this was hold on one second, let me grab it. The cast on just before this is this bad boy, which I am calling the Simon Henry Arthur Fitzrandolph Bassett 9th Duke of Hastings sweater. And that is because this was my Christmas sweater. That's why it's in a Joann's holiday bag. That is because I am using these yarns from Bumblebee Acres Farms from the Bridgerton collection. And the colors are Lady Danbury, Simon Wine and Roses, and the Duke of Hastings. And I thought these three colors, when I saw them on the website, I thought they would work really well together. This one is more purpley than these two. These two are definitely red and burgundy with that, cream wheat color in there too. But I thought these colors would work well together to create like a dark, broody boyfriend sweater type idea. And so for that, I got the Favo sweater pattern by Fiber Tales. And this pattern is very detailed. It's very textured, which I like. I like knitting that looks worked. I like projects that look like there was work put into them. So like for this, it's got this honeycomb stitch in panels down the side. It's got this braid on the front. It's got the same, which is the right side? On the front, it's got the same honeycomb pattern on the side. It's got the braid is something you work up after, but it's got this little braid here. It's got bobbles. It's got cables. Like it's busy. This is an overwrought pattern, which I feel like is a very, very Bassett. Like this is the Duke of Hastings. You know what I mean? Like just very overworked and very self-important or full of himself. And I know all, and I know what's best for you, Daphne. Like, I feel like this definitely represents him. It's got the moody dark colors. It's got the overworked, very embellished, very intricate pattern, like design elements. Yeah, I think now I'm thinking about Regé-Jean Page because Regé-Jean Page, who's going to see Dungeons and Dragons just because he's in it? No, that's a lie. I watched Dungeons and Dragons. I enjoyed Dungeons and Dragons. I cast on the Lily of the Valley sweater while watching the Critical Role tabletop with my fiance's cousin, the same one who bought me the mug, while watching that with her, because this project was in our car and our car was in the shop. So I didn't have anything to knit, anything to work on. And she wanted to learn how to knit. So I was teaching her how to knit. We were sitting at my kitchen table and I need a pattern, or I need a project to work on while I'm sitting here teaching you how to knit. And that led me to pull out this and start this. So that was fun. Okay, what's next? What's my next most recent after that? I think the next, this is from October. In October, I got this harebrained idea that I was going to knit a sweater in like a month to do just to do it. I thought I was going to be able to knit a sweater in a month. So I cast on the Soda Pop top, which oh look, that's two. That's two patterns that I've used before that I'm using again. This is the Soda Pop top. Where's the needle? What on earth? Where's the... I am so confused. Where's the needle? Okay. Well, this product's not on needles. Let me just try to slide this on a needle while I'm sitting here talking to you, because that's reasonable. I cast on a Soda Pop top, and I had seen a I had seen a sweater online. I want to say it was from like Doll's Kill or something, but it was like a Halloween sweater that I saw online, and it was a knit sweater, and it had all of this color work. Well, no, that's a lie. It wasn't color work. It was in black and white, but it had all of this design and knit into it. You know, it had bats and ghosts and this and that, and I got to thinking to myself, I could make that. I could definitely make that. So went to Knit Picks, ordered some of their palettes. Pretty sure this is palette. Let me check. I have the ball bands. Yeah, it's palette. Ordered some of their palette, which is 100% Peruvian Highland wool, 231 yards per 50 gram. Well, I ordered black, I ordered white, I ordered orange and green and purple. And I took what was a black and white pattern and I decided which parts I wanted to be, what colors, and went for it. You know what I mean? And obviously I did not finish it in time for Halloween. This was just the front. I don't know why I thought in a month I was going to be able to do an entire colorwork sweater. That's not even me. It took me longer than a month to knit my plain soda pop top. So I don't know. Sometimes I get in my head that I'm faster at making than I actually am, but usually it only happens for sewing. I don't usually have that problem for knitting. I'm generally very aware of my knitting speed or lack thereof, or I generally do not overestimate my knitting speed. And I don't generally put deadlines on my knitting also. For me, I knit for fun, like for the joy of creation or whatever. So it's not as big a deal. When it gets done, it will be done. And that's kind of, all that there is to that. But for this, it was definitely a deadline. Definitely a deadline I was not equipped to meet. And being a fast knitter is not something that I necessarily even aspire to. I don't need to be a fast knitter. There's nothing wrong with being a fast knitter. If you're not a process knitter, if making is not what brings you joy, but rather having the thing that you're making, then it makes sense to try to be a fast knitter so you can make as many things as possible. There's nothing wrong with that. I know there's like a counter movement kind of to social media that says social media lends to people trying to make quickly because they want to be able to produce a lot of content by making a lot of things. And, social media is killing the joy of creation. But I think some people just enjoy having the thing, and working quickly facilitates having the things, which is what you want. And if that's your goal, have at it. Please knit fast, make things, be happy. But for me, it's more about the process of knitting. It's more about having something in my hands that my hands are doing to keep me like in my body at the time. That sounds so pretentious, but I hope it makes sense. I'm so anxious all the time. I'm so stuck in my own head all the time, and I get overwhelmed so easily, and I psych myself out of things and talk myself out of things and overwhelm myself over nothing so much. And it's impractical and it's not sustainable. And I have small children that I need to be present for. And I can see my anxiety rubbing off on them. Like, my oldest son gets so worked up about the smallest things. And it's like, I know, buddy, like, I know how you feel. I know that panic over like, he's not doing this right. Like if his little brother's not playing a game properly, I know how that panic feels. And like knitting helps me be out of my mind and in my body so that I'm not feeling that type of panic. So like for me, this is something like knitting is something that I need to do. And so it's okay if it's slow because that means I have it to do. But for other people, they don't need that. Their brain functions properly. They're not like trying to eat themselves from the inside and they can work quickly. But for me, it's this. So anyway, this is the general of the pattern that I'm working on. So it's bats with little stars, and then it's this orange cross, these green with crosses, orange X's, green with crosses, and then purple with ghosts. And then it repeats. This is back panel. The back panel? I think this is the back panel. Because I realized that I needed to figure out in the sweater that I saw online. Sorry, the sun is coming in. I hope it's not too distracting. This light is crazy. In the sweater that I saw online, the sleeves matched. Where the sleeves met the sweater, it matched. And I wanted the same thing for mine, which means I needed to at least make the back so I could see, because this is knit bottom up. So I couldn't even say like, oh, I'll start with X. I have to get there first. So, and I think the front has shaping. Like, no, this is the front. This is the front. And you know how I can tell? Because this side right here is following the shaping. That's what it was. I was trying to do the bust darts with the short rows, and I thought to myself to just knit it and then fit it the same way I did with that Ursa sweater. I did not learn, and I hibernated this project because I realized I could have just done over knitting after the fact, and I was frustrated. So this is in the UFO bag. It is definitely resting. It is on hibernation until God knows when. It might be a Halloween this year project. It might be a never project. We'll see. And the last project that I have in a bag that I'm working on, you've seen before, you've heard about before. This is the Garden Gate pattern by Jennifer Steingass. It's in, what are these colors? It's in Red Door Fiber Studios, Feyre Darling and Cursebreaker. Yes, Feyre Darling and Cursebreaker. I started this project and then I had to stop because I realized I'm going to need to introduce a third color. I don't have enough. It's not enough contrast between the main color and the contrast color. Like Feyre Darling and Cursebreaker both have that same kind of red berry color, and it's not going to be enough contrast for the color work in the Garden Gate sweater. So what I'm going to do is get a plain white, like a solid white, probably from Knit Picks, and just fill that in for the color. So this is in a bag, in a box, in a corner, until such a time as I can do that, because I have been working on quite a few other things in the interim. Non-knitting things, obviously. But that kind of helps to segue into my 2023 knitting plans. Section break, a coffee sip. So I, in another video on my channel, talked about how I'm creating a cottagecore inspired wardrobe for 2023. That's like my overarching sewing plan, idea, structure. I don't do make 9. I don't pick certain patterns, but I thought that this would be a good way to like order my steps for sewing this year. And I kind of want to, there's like a very noisy bird outside. I wonder if you can hear him. Anyway, I kind of want to do something similar with my knitting. A lot of the patterns that were in my Ravelry challenge last year will fit really well into the I'm calling it my cottage wardrobe, but like a lot of the patterns that were in my queue last year will fit into that. And I think hand knits in general fit really well into like a cottagecore inspired wardrobe because it's hand knit. I think that just kind of, I think those go hand in hand. So for the most part, if you watched my 2022 Ravelry challenge video, then you're going to be familiar with a lot of the projects that I'm going to show you. But I'm going to talk about them anyway because I am holding myself accountable, giving myself a record. So the first thing on my list is the Garden Gate sweater by Jennifer Steigas. If you remember, I told you when I do Ravelry challenge, I pick 12 projects. In theory, it's one project a month. So the first one is still, like last year, the Garden Gate sweater. That was supposed to be my January project. Obviously, it wasn't because it's still in a bag. But I want to do that in Fair Darling and Curse Breaker with the addition of a white yarn I'll probably, like I said, get from Knit Picks. So that is my first project. The second project on my list is the Jonquil by Martin Story. I'm going to use, I have a yarn from Melanated Boho Bag. It's worsted. No, it's DK weight. The yarn is DK weight and the pattern calls for fingering weight, but I'm probably just going to finesse the gauge and make it work because it's like a black, gray, pink situation. Jonquil obviously has the hearts all over it. I think it would make a cute Valentine's inspired sweater. Obviously, it's after Valentine's Day, but that's okay. I can wear a heart sweater whenever. It's not a big deal. Now, the third project was supposed to be the spring puff sweater, but as I mentioned, I went on Ravelry and it was gone, and I was very confused. So I decided to skip the spring puff sweater and instead make the Lily of the Valley blouse. I now know that the spring puff sweater is still available. I will give a link to it if you are interested, but I replaced that with the Lily of the Valley sweater. So I needed something else to put in that spot. And I'm going to do the Ballerina Wrap Top by Alexandra Tavel. It calls for a DK weight from Lion Brand with a touch of mohair. I'm not doing that. I have a DK weight of Sorella Yarn Co.'s Double Scoop and Ice Cream Shop, the birthday collection, the same that I made my socks with. And I'm going to use that because I think a soft pink and cream kind of wrap ballerina sweater would be so cute and also very versatile and fit very comfortably into a cottagecore wardrobe. So I'm excited for that. The next thing that I'm thinking about considering is, well, the next thing on my list is the Malablucin by Erica Bernstein. It's a boat neck, off the shoulder, puff sleeved, cropped top. Yes, 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 please. I want to do, it calls for worsted weight or Aran weight yarn. So I want to do something probably cotton, something super light. We're going on a cruise this summer and I think it would make the perfect like excursion. We'll be in the Eastern Caribbean. So like, you know, wear it with like a linen tiered skirt. I think it would be super cute. make it in like a very bright color, and yeah, some melanated boho bay type bright color. I think that would be really cute and very fitting for what I'm trying to do. The next one is definitely up for debate. I can be talked out of this one. It's the Adagio hoodie by Kate Garden. I'm not sold. I like the Adagio hoodie. When I put it on the list last year, I was thinking it would be nice for like taking my boys to the pool. We were still, it was, I didn't have the plan that I have in place right now, which is the cottagecore inspired wardrobe. So when I put this on the list, it was definitely with like a just stay-at-home mom running around wardrobe in mind. But with this cottagecore wardrobe in mind, it's kind of feeling less applicable. So I'm thinking I might replace that with the peachy slip dress by Smitha Crosta. That it's a dress, so cute. It's hand knit, which is cute, and I think it would fit more with the cottagecore aesthetic that I'm trying to emulate. It's so cute, and it would match perfectly if it calls for knit picks hawthorn fingering. There is a speckle in there that's almost exactly, or it might be exactly the same speckle as the one I used for my eyelet stripe hoodie from 2021. And like, how cute would that be? It would be like a little set. And then I wouldn't need to make another hoodie because I have my eyelet stripe hoodie. I could just put those together. So, like I said, I can be talked out of the Adagio hoodie, and it can just happen another time. Next one is the Glow Up crop top by Lauren Riker. It gives me milkmaid blouse type vibes, which is very cottagecore. I do think I would make it, the one here is like hot pink. I do think I would make mine in a more natural color. To give more of that feeling, like the cottagecore inspired feeling. But I don't have yarn for that, and I don't have a too specific of a plan for that. So we'll see. The Famo sweater obviously is on my list. You've seen how that's going. So hopefully we can keep that going for the end of the year. I last year got on a roll, had finished like 5 or 6 projects, and was like, oh, I'm killing it. I'm gonna make it. This year will be the first year I finished my Ravelry goal, and I petered out by the end of the year. So I'm hoping I don't have the same thing happen this year where I have all of these pieces around me and don't make the mark. Now, the next on my list is Shakespeare in the Park by Park Williams. This is such a frivolous design. Like, I don't understand what I was thinking, where I'm going to wear this. It's just nonsense. However, I do go to the Renaissance Festival every year, and I am applying to run a booth at the Renaissance Festival this year. So like, how cute would that be? Like, for a day at the fair with like all my medievally stuff around. I don't know. Maybe I think it's the sleeves. The sleeves speak to me. And I have to try it. I have to try. Then again, until I make this, it will be on my list. The Fine Line Sweater by Lily Kate France. I think it is the perfect Christmas sweater. The one that she has online is in like a really dark teal, but I think in a true forest green, it will be the best thing. Just the very best thing. And I will not stop until I have it. End of discussion. So I've already pulled out my Duke of Hastings inspired yarns and made that. But I also bought from that same collection from Bumblebee Acres Farms, Penelope Featherington and Lady Whistledown, which if you've seen Bridgerton, you will understand why I bought those to go together. But they are such incompatible colorways. They absolutely do not make sense together. But I think they would look super cool in the offset cable tee. Like, do one half one color, one half the other color, and have them blend a little in the middle. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but like I can see it. In my head, it makes perfect sense. That like, I know at that point it's more about the story that's being told with the yarn than like the actual yarns going together. But like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it being a story. And if it turns out that it's just crazy ugly, I'll just wear it at home. Okay, so I think that's 10 projects. Did I count the Lily of the Valley? That's 11. Yeah, so 11 with the Lily of the Valley. And for the last project, I'm kind of up in the air. I was thinking maybe knit another bathing suit. One that actually gets to go on vacation this time. But then I was kind of thinking I could finally make my Hufflepuff house sweater. And I am not a Harry Potter adult, like a Disney adult. I am not a Harry Potter adult. However, I am a Hufflepuff, and we're particularly good finders. And I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I kind of want to have a Hufflepuff house sweater in the style of like vintage sweater girl sweaters. I want a Hufflepuff house sweater that I can put like a Hufflepuff patch on, and I don't know. I think it would be cute. Or like a Quidditch sweater. I don't want like a Weasley Christmas sweater. I want like a cute pin-up-y sweater. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. But anyway, those are my 2023 knitting plans. Like I said, everything is to fit with this cottagecore inspired wardrobe that I'm building. And a lot of it are holdovers from last year that I just never completed. But I'm excited to get started. What about you? What are you knitting? What are your goals for the year? What are your plans in your knitting? I would love to hear about them, so let me know in the comments. But with that being said, I'm all done. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. You can subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos like this from me, and ring the notification bell to be notified every time I post a new video on this channel. If you're wondering, knitting content on this channel can be identified by the light green border that's around the thumbnail. And I hope that helps you to find the content that you are interested in. If you are interested in supporting me further, I do have a Ko-fi where you can buy me a cup of coffee and help me to continue to run entirely on caffeine and mom dreams. But again, as I said, thank you so much for being here today. I'm very excited for the new year, and I'm excited for all of the knitting that we're going to get done. And I appreciate you talking your knit with me. Until next time, sincerely, DeeDee.